First, let's look at the organization structure of SAP MM. So, enterprise structure is a structure that represents enterprise. So, in MM, we have a company, then company code, then purchase organization, then plant. Each enterprise structure are defined into the various organizational level. Those level are placed as an hierarchy. Each level has some specific functionality associated with this. So before we start processing the transactional data, we need to assign the organization hierarchy correctly in the system. Now in organization structure, topmost hierarchy will be client. What is client? A client is a self-contained unit with a separate master record, its own sets of table. Then come to company code. Company code represent a company in the sense of independent accounting units. After that, purchasing organization. A purchasing organization is an organization unit that procure material and services and negotiates the purchasing conditions for the plant which it has to be assigned. Purchasing group is an organization unit is divided into the purchasing group as a buyer and that are responsible for the operational tasks. A purchasing group can also represent to the several purchasing organization. Now next organization unit is plant. Plant is a very vital organization unit in SAP MM structure. A plant is a place where either produce or goods or services being procured. Storage location is another unit which used in the logistics and that also used in the material management as well. A organization unit that allow differentiation of material stock within the plant. A storage location is a total of all storage bin in a plant that are managed together. As we already discussed, company code is the highest level of organization unit in our MM structure. The company code is the smallest organization unit for which you can have a independent accounting department within the external accounting. A company code represents an independent accounting unit. For example, a company with the corporate group client. Balance sheet and profit and loss statement are required by law, are created by the company code level. So we can set up several company code in one client in order to manage various separate legal entities simultaneously, each with their own balance sheet and financials book. A plant is an organizational unit in the logistics that are structured to enterprise from the perspective of production, procurement, plant maintenance, and material planning. A plant can be a manufacturing facility or the branch within the company which can distribute the product. Now, storage location. This is also an organization unit that allow differentiation of material stocks within the plant. Inventory management on quantity basis is carried out at the storage location level in the plant. Physical inventory is carried out at the storage location level. For example, so we have a block stock that is managed by the inventory level and unrestricted stock. Those are managed by the storage location level. Now coming into the purchasing group and purchasing organization. So purchasing organization is an organization unit that negotiates the conditions of purchase with the vendor for one to more plant and company. It's legally responsible for com- completing the purchasing contract. So in many cases we have a purchasing department, right? So that purchasing department negotiate their deal with their vendor, that exactly doing in this purchasing organization. Purchasing group is a small group that each under fall under the purchasing organization. The key of buyer group is responsible for performing certain purchasing activity. Now let's look at that purchasing function. So purchasing function started with the requirement determination, then source determination, vendor selections, purchase order processing, follow up with the vendor, goods receipt and inventory management, invoice verification, vendor payment. So that's it, the basic procurement cycle that is followed by the any purchasing department. In this step we will be understanding the purchase requisition sub processes. So processes start here with the requirement planning, where basically we are planning some goods to purchase, right? We need to fix the vendor, we need to determine the sources, create a outline agreement with the vendor, create a conditions, right? So what are the terms of payment, what was the price they are offering. After determine all those source and quotation agreement, we need to release a procure. Now we need to create a purchase requisition. In case any modification is needed, we can change the purchase requisition. Once purchase requisition has been fulfilled, then we can request for a purchase order. Purchase requisition are internal document you are used to request for purchasing department to procure a particular quantity of material or a service from the particular date. When you create a purchase requisition for the material that have a material master record in the R3 system, supported you when you create a material transferring the data in the material master record into the purchasing requisition. Purchasing requisition converted into the RFQ, quotations, purchase order and outline agreement based on your configurations. Here are the below criteria for releasing purchase requisition: release conditions, release strategy and release indicator. In this picture you will be understand what are the subs post process involved in the request for quotations stage. RFQ. What is RFQ? RFQ is an request for quotations. So you send RFQ to the chosen vendor who then send their quotation or rejection letter based on your offer. You enter that quotation along with the condition, delivery date and other terms and conditions they contain with the reference with the corresponding RFQ. You can determine most favorable item or quotations by meaning this comparison. We can collectively create RFQ. For example, RFQ 1, 2, 3 can be clubbed together in a one. Now coming into the source list determination. So this is another vital stage in SAP MM. So here are the below thing need to be checked: manual maintenance, maintenance of outline agreement, maintenance of purchase info record, generation from purchase info record, outline agreement, validity period fixed with the vendor, fixed with the outline agreement. Now we understand quota arrangement. So this is something in this picture we will be understanding the quota arrangement. So in quota management, we have a validity period, procurement type, special procurement type if any, vendor, quota, and quotation quantity. In this picture, it's listed how purchasing ordering cycle has been carried out. Generation from purchase requisition, purchase order, contract, reference of any function, then basically stock of material, services, material provided, account assignment, single or multiple. Based on this, purchase order, normal subcontracting, consignment, stock order that can be created, statistical group has been updated, or purchase order history has been updated. Now, purchase order. A purchase order is a formal request to a vendor to supply a certain goods and services under the state's conditions. You can also create a purchase order with reference and without reference to a purchase requisition or a request for a quotation or another purchase order. You can either send a purchase order to vendor or you can carry out a stock transfer order with the another plant belonging to the same company code or same legal entity. Yeah, we can specify purchase order whether the material is delivered from the stock or it's for directly consumptions. For example, cost center, assets, projects, those are detail required. The goods received and invoice verification are usually carried out on the basis of purchase order. Like other purchasing document in the R3 system, purchase order consisted of document header and one more items. The document header contain information that refer to the entire purchase order. Example of this included in the document currency, document date, and the terms of payment. The item part of the document contain the description of the materials and service to be ordered, plant, storage location, etc. In the below picture state that how contract scheduling agreement has been performed. So contract scheduling basically performed based on the schedule date and the schedule quantity has been agreed with the vendor. Yeah, another type of purchasing document we use that was outline agreement. Now outline agreement can be two kind. One is contract, one is scheduling agreement. So in standard recipe we use scheduling agreement LP released to vendor and it has separate delivery scheduled, and another type is contract. So contract can be again in two kind of contract we can create. One is quantity contract, one is value contract. Quantity contract is basically requiring quantity and value is a net worth or something, the value of this material. So those are basically we can create with the release order. Now in purchasing we also use the conditions. Conditions are used in the purchase order to determine the prices. Condition in the contract is applied to the contract release order created with the reference to a contract. Condition in the purchasing info records are applied to the purchase order item. Certain material and vendor contain the purchasing info record as well. Conditions in the purchase info records are applied to the purchase order item with the material vendor contain the purchasing info records. In this picture, we will be understanding the source determination substep. So direct requisitions, requirement planning, then purchase requisition, contract scheduling agreement, fix the vendor, quotation available, vendor selections, open the purchase record, purchase orders. Purchasing info record, one of the key component in material management. Purchasing info records are contain concise information on the vendor material you procure from the vendor. Yes, we can also store the below details, for example delivery date, freight, discount and other thing in the purchase info record. Here are the below list of sub-function has been listed out in this picture for release procedure of a purchasing document. Another key component of material management is an inventory management. So this is basically take care of your inventory, all the inventory which is incoming and outgoing that are kept into the inventory management purview. Here is the picture where we can understand how inventory managed, right? So we are receiving the goods, we have a stock, storage locations and the special stock. So we have a movement inbound movement and outbound movement. We are issuing goods to the customer that are kept in the inventory management. In this picture we have listed out the sample material movement from the inventory management perspective. This is the steps in inventory management we call goods receive. So we can goods receipts for unrestricted, we can also use the return goods received as well. Those are kept in the inventory management. All kinds of goods receipts are entered manually by the clerk who is basically receives those goods. Either you are procure from the vendor or internally produced from your manufacturing unit that are create a goods receive entry. Now once you are issuing goods to your client or your warehouse, there should be a goods issue component. Here we have listed out the goods received destinations. So it could be a unrestricted stock with the quality inspection. It could be a block stock, non-stock purchase such as cost center, profit centers, others, GR block stocks. Yeah, we can post the goods received from the vendor to a quality inspection stock for the following reasons. If the material always has undergo with the quality inspection before it use, in such cases, if the material is received from the particular vendor has undergoing with the quality inspection first, this is another example we can also use for this. And if you want to decide that time of goods receipt, the material has to undergo with the quality inspection. So when we are receiving a goods, it is update the PO with the production order or production order. It's update the goods receipt number create a goods receipt number, transfer detail to the warehouse management, posting stock and consumptions to the accounting. It has tightly integrated with the quality management, post the receipts of quality inspection, create a material document, financial document, and stock and value has been updated. Now we have a several scenario where we can issue our goods. First, we can deliver our goods to our customers. Against, we can deliver, we can issue our goods against the production order. We can issue our goods based on the consumptions, like a cost center and the assets accounting. We can return when customer is basically returning goods. In terms of return, we are also sending a new goods, scrap, and sampling, and there could be many more reason for the goods issue. Reservation are the request to the warehouse to have the material ready for this issue at the later date or for particular purposes. A reservation can also be used for planned in-out movement in advance. A reservation ensures that material is available on that moment when it's needed. Here are the below list of results from the goods issue. Update the reference document number. Update the GRIS slip. It has tightly integrated with WM. If the WM is activated, transfer requirement created in the warehouse management. Transfer order are also created in the warehouse management. Posting of stock consumption has been updated. Material document updated. Financial document updated. Stock and value has been updated. Inventory management and inventory analysis is a part of an inventory management process where basically we are reconcile our stock for per material available for any specific plant or any requirement that can be analyzed under the inventory management. Stock controlling point of view, ABC analysis, stock value, range of coverage, slow moving item, dead stock, those kind of analysis are done in the inventory management. Now physically inventory counting procedure. So in inventory management we have a three physical inventory counting procedure. Yeah, either we can do it periodic inventory or cycling count or a periodic inventory check, inspects the small sample inventory. That kind of a scenario we can cover in that physical inventory management. In inventory management we also have a reordering point and to check how inventory flow, right? So it's adding a physical inventory in the document, setup indicator, print a physical inventory document, physical inventory count. Those are tracked in the inventory flow. Now there was another part we call invoice verifications. So in invoice verifications are based on the purchase order, or invoice verification can be based on the GR or IR. So once we posting in any invoices, there are couple of document has been updated. So accounting document has been created, material master moving average prices updated, purchase order history updated, vendor account updated, GR account has been updated. We can use external services management in the below listed area. Here is the flow of external service management. Determinations of requirement through the PM or plant maintenance or project system, whatever it's implemented. External procurement from purchasing point of view, entry service performed or invoice received, accounting document created. In this picture, we have listed out the basic flow of external services management. Determination of requirement, construction of the services for the specification, bid imitations, entry of the quotations, vendor selections, order monitoring, service entry sheet or purchase invoice verifications. Now, service purchase document has several stages like purchase requisition, request for quotations, quotations, purchase order, contract, service entry sheet. This is very important note, document point of view. SAP will allocate a unique number to any document generated by user using the number range with a specific document type. Number cannot be duplicated or different document as it could be a legal requirement. Material document can be referred by the other relevant document like PO data, copy of GR. Document remain till either fully referenced or fully rejected. In the invoice verification, you can post the incoming invoices with reference to a purchase order, a service entry sheet, or a goods receipt. Now, when any invoice got posted, there are a couple of uh, things has happened, right? It create a MM invoice document and FI document as well. It update the purchase order history. It update the material master if required. In this picture, it is just a sample invoice, in inbound invoice that used for the verification purposes. It need to verify the address, reference number, purchase order, invoice item, invoice party, document date, currency, etc. When goods are received, R3 system debited the stock account and posted the offset entry to the GR and IR clearing account. In case of material with a moving average price, an R3 system posts stock account with the value of the net order and price multiplied by the quantity of goods received. In case material with the standard price, R3 system posts the stocks account with the net value of the standard price multiplication by the quantity of goods received. When a invoice posted, GRIR clear account is cleared and vendor is credited. I hope this slide will help you to understand the basic MM process and what are the subs process involved in that material management. If you like this video, please hit subscribe button and press notification icon.